It's the ultimate fighting sport. A modern combat style with ancient roots that span the globe. It's called mixed martial arts, or MMA.
We're going on a journey to explore the unique history of this hyper-violent sport. Along the way, we'll learn some of MMA's most time-honored techniques and train with its most legendary fighters. Then, we'll step inside the octagon and go toe-to-toe with two fighting machines in a full-blown MMA bout.
Kind of teaches Pretty Boy a lesson.
Let's go, let's get it on.
There are hundreds of distinct fighting styles in the world. They are practiced in every nation and by every people. Now, Jason Chambers, a mixed martial artist and professional fighter, and Bill Duff, a former pro football player and wrestler, are embarked on a mission to explore the history and techniques of these incredible martial arts. And at the end of each journey, one of these two warriors will face the ultimate test. They'll try to survive a real fight with a true human weapon.
We've come to sunny Los Angeles, the mecca of the mixed martial arts world. In just over a decade, this hybrid fighting form has evolved from an underground blood sport into a worldwide phenomenon.
Round 1 is underway in this super fight.
With just under 24,000 professionals in 2,500 leagues around the world, MMA has surpassed boxing and pro wrestling in popularity.
It's also surpassed them in punishment. MMA doesn't limit itself to one technique, and fighters can hurt their opponents in a variety of ways. With punches, kicks, and knee strikes, rooted in arts like Muay Thai, Karate, and Savate.
If these stand-up tactics don't work, you can slam your opponent to the mat using takedowns derived from Judo, Sambo, and Greco-Roman wrestling. Or you can force your opponent to tap out using Jiu-Jitsu style submissions that date back to the samurai warriors. In MMA, it doesn't matter where the move comes from. If it works, you use it.
Our journey to explore the history of this brutal world begins at Big John McCarthy's Ultimate Training Academy.
Left up. There you go. Stay on that. There you
left
go.
up.
Yeah, get in there. Drop him with that right.
There, we witness an intense training match inside a full-sized MMA octagon.
There you go. Nice. Now use that. Stay on it.
Wheel it in now.
Come on, suck it in. Suck it in.
Watching along with us was MMA legend Boss Root.
Stay on that. There you go.
Uh-oh, this could be it. Yep, good.
Boss is a black belt in both karate and judo, a brutal kickboxer, and savage wrestler. He's 28-4 with 25 wins by knockout or submission. Boss has won titles in just about every mixed martial arts organization on the planet.
Now, he had a challenge for us.
Are you ready for this? Because that is what you guys are going to do. Bill?
That looks like fun.
Yeah.
I saw wrestling, I saw Muay Thai, I saw boxing in there. What else is involved in mixed martial arts?
Pain.
A lot of pain, yeah. And we're going to work with some other fighters, professional fighters, and they're going to help you with kicking, with grappling, with submission.
At the end of our journey, we'd be stepping into this cage and going head-to-head in a 3-round bout against 2 of the sport's toughest fighters.
Do you want to know who you're going to face?
Absolutely.
All right.
The guy Boss has for me is Rico Rodriguez, a 300-pound black belt in jiu-jitsu. Rico's a former heavyweight UFC champ and gold medal winner at the Abu Dhabi Combat Club submission tournament. Considering I've never stepped foot in an octagon, I'll be lucky if I come out of this fight alive, let alone with a victory.
Rico Rodriguez!
Not that I was going to get off any easier. I'll be fighting Connor Hune, a former college wrestler and a rising star in the International Fight League. I've had more than 20 professional MMA fights, but it's been a while since I've rolled with a guy like Connor.
So I get an ex-champ and you get an undefeated fighter.
It's perfect.
We've definitely got our work cut out for us. And that work starts on the other side of LA, in the town of Fullerton at Eric Paulson's Combat Submission Wrestling Training Center. Here, we'll train with a modern-day fighter whose style invokes some of the oldest martial arts in the world. He's the baby-faced assassin, Josh Barnett.
Good to see you.
See, Josh,
Traffic wasn't too bad.
Famous for his slams, his ground fighting, and his take-no-prisoners attitude, Josh is the current world pancrase champion, Japan's preeminent MMA league. Josh explained that MMA competitions evolved from a lot of different sources.
You had pancration, you had old-time pro wrestling, you had shooting and shoot wrestling in Japan, which is now branched off into MMA as we know it here in the United States and all throughout the world.
Prior to the late 1800s, most martial arts operated independent of outside influence. As colonial empires began to span the globe, fighters around the world started asking the big question: which martial art and martial artist was truly the best?
The guys that watched the Kung Fu films and boxing and all the different stuff and wanted to see what would happen when one guy of one style, like Kung Fu, would fight another guy, say boxing, who would win out of the two of them?
Josh believed that the best way to win was by taking your opponent to the ground and pounding him into submission. To do that, he showed us the double leg takedown, a move that dates back to ancient Greece. It's the same one that was employed by Spartans against the Persians at the Battle of Thermopylae 2,500 years ago.
Since most MMA fights start on their feet but end on the ground, the double leg is the perfect move to jumpstart our training. It begins with the fighter dropping low, knees bent.
Change, get into my strong shooting position.
The fighter shoots off his lead leg, making contact with his opponent's midsection and wrapping his arms around his upper thighs.
I want you to drop right here and hit right to the hip.
The fighter then uses the upward thrust of the hips to lift his opponent into the air.
Now I can easily go into my lift.
And slam him hard to the mat.
Drive sideways. Boom. Nice. But to get any of that to work, it starts with good position and good drive.
The key to the double is to hit your opponent below his rib cage, which knocks him off his center of gravity. Wrapping your arms around his legs prevents him from regaining it. Your forward momentum, coupled with the upward thrust of your hips, gets your opponent airborne. Driving him to the mat can yield over 3,000 pounds of injury-producing force. That's like dropping a 20-pound bag of cement off a 9-foot ladder onto someone's chest.
Hey. Nice. Good, get me moving. Now drive across to the side. And that's finishing your double, but you landed on your hip.
Is that bad?
That is horrible. Now hold on, Bill.
I was having trouble with the techniques of the double leg, so Josh put it in terms I was more familiar with.
Whether we take a knee or not, were you offensive or defensive lineman?
Defensive.
You don't tackle a guy this way.
No.
You don't shed a block that way. But you got to be in position first. And hey, in Japan they call it a tackle.
Oh. Well, I'll tackle you then, Josh.
Go for it. Hit your double leg tackle, Bill. Ah, there you go. Nice drive.
There's a lot of elements to this move I can use because you drive the hips. It's quick. You change their level and you get in, take them to the ground. So I think I can really incorporate this into an MMA fight.
There you go. That's the double leg everybody wants to see.
But I'm going to need a lot more than a double if I plan to take on Rico Rodriguez. Time to focus on our stand-up fighting with two of the best. A brutal brawler who many say is the toughest fighter in the world, and a striker whose high-flying style has proven unstoppable. Not far from the beach bums and bathing beauties of Venice Beach is LA Boxing, one of the most legendary gyms in MMA. It's here we hook up with a man many say is the toughest pound-for-pound fighter on the planet. Forrest Griffin. Forrest is here to give us a crash course in the fighting style he's best known for, sprawl and brawl.
Whereas ground guys like Josh Barnett like to take it to the mat, sprawl and brawlers like Forrest choose to stay on their feet. They do so by using a variety of strikes and power punches called brawling. Brawling evolved out of the stand-up art of bare-knuckle boxing, the brutal forefather to the modern version. Fights were bloody, lasting 40, even 50 rounds. Death was a real prospect. But in early MMA bouts, bare-knuckle brawlers fared poorly against ground fighters because once on the ground, brawlers simply did not know what to do.
To even the score, the brawler stole a move from classic European catch wrestling. Known for its loose rules and often deadly outcomes, catch wrestling has influenced everything from Olympic freestyle to modern pro wrestling. It also gave birth to a move called the sprawl, an ideal technique for keeping a stand-up MMA fighter on his feet.
It's something that anybody that doesn't want to wrestle and doesn't want to end up in their back in mixed martial arts better learn and become very familiar with. Ready to have a look at it? Sure.
To execute the sprawl, the fighter uses the forward momentum of his opponent against him.
You want to catch him with the hip. You don't want to sprawl too soon. You want to wait until it hits your hip.
Leaning in, locking his hips, and sliding his feet backwards.
See a lot of guys do? They go laces down.
At the same time, he pushes down on his opponent's back and shoulders with his forearms.
You either got to make him pay with driving him into the ground and just wasting that energy, or, you know, catching him a little bit.
While keeping his legs out of his opponent's reach.
The idea, especially when I fight, is that they'll quit doing it and that they'll lose confidence in that and try to go to something else.
So you make them pay for taking the shot.
Got to.
The key to the sprawl is sliding your legs backward while leaning in and locking your hips at the same time. This forces your opponent's center of mass beyond its stability zone. Coupled with the downward thrust of your forearms, he's now supporting your entire upper body with the back of his neck and head, which leaves him face down on the mat, vulnerable to any number of attacks.
See, Jason's got really good reaction speed. Good, nice. Great job.
Next, we practiced sprawling without using our hands, emphasizing the importance of timing and hip technique. As a jiu-jitsu guy, I normally don't mind going to the ground.
Nice, that's beautiful.
But neither do wrestlers like Connor. Sprawling will help me stuff Connor's shots.
Good job.
And take the fight to the ground on my terms.
Nice shot. Make it hard on. Nice shot.
Nice.
The sprawl can help keep me on my feet, which is where I'll need to be against a ground fighter like Rico. But brawling is just as important as sprawling. And even though MMA's a relatively young sport, its striking styles date back for centuries.
To work on our strikes, we headed to Hollywood and Wildcard Boxing, the hallowed training ground for famous fighters like Bernard Hopkins, Manny Pacquiao, and Mike Tyson. At Wildcard, we met another world-class boxer, champion kickboxer Kung Lee. Kung's a black belt in Taekwondo and has trained extensively in Sanda, Kung Fu's deadliest fighting form.
Hey, Kung. What's going on, man?
How are you, man? You guys are all over the place, man. You and your kicks. That's cool.
That's my weapons.
We tracked you down here to Wildcard. I mean, this is a huge boxing gym, but we know that not only are you a great boxer, but you got some funky kicks like we were just seeing. We're hoping you can help us out with ours.
Oh, definitely.
Kung's the ideal fighter to improve our striking skills. In addition to Taekwondo and Sanda, he's incorporated kicks from South Asia's premier fighting form, Muay Thai. It's a fusion that's helped Kung remain undefeated in 19 professional fights, with 14 wins by knockout. Kung began by demonstrating some basic round kick combinations.
Kick here, step up, kick.
Because the legs are more than twice the mass of the arms, these kicks can certainly do damage. When done in rapid combos, they can leave your opponent guessing where the next shot will come from.
That would knock somebody out.
I think so.
Although these strikes were similar to the ones we'd learned in Savate and Muay Thai, putting them together in multiple combinations is new.
Right now I notice the pad's right there. You kick in at the pad. As soon as you have impact, you're stopping. So as soon as you feel that pad, kind of give it a little extra torque, kick through it.
All right, I'm gonna give that a try.
That's great right there.
Better?
That's what I'm talking about.
Excellent.
Let's mix a couple combos. Let's double it up on that leg. 2, up high. Low. High. Body. Low. High. Ooh.
After we get the hang of the high-low moves, Kung added another strike to the combination.
After I kick up high, I pull it back right here and I step down here. I spin, I look, and I kick.
The move is called the spinning back kick. It's similar to roundhouses used in Muay Baran, a forerunner to Muay Thai that was so violent it was outlawed in Thailand in the early 1900s. Although the moves have their differences, the power they generate is equally devastating.
When executing the spinning back kick, the fighter steps across his body and pivots 180 degrees on his lead leg. At the same time, he throws his head over his opposite shoulder. The kicking leg is then thrust backwards, aiming for the solar plexus.
When I'm kicking, I'm trying to hit with the heel.
The power of this move comes from the spin. Like the wrecking ball at the end of a demolition crane, the power is generated by the rotation of the body. In conjunction with the snap of the knee, the foot achieves a velocity of nearly 30 miles per hour. When the heel connects with the solar plexus, it transfers 1,400 pounds of force, enough to damage internal organs and fracture multiple ribs.
So 1, down, 2, cross, look, 3.
That's the perfect way to practice it.
Breaking it down.
Breaking it down. The more comfortable you get, it'll come faster. Want to give it a shot?
Sure. I was really worried a guy my size couldn't pull this off. But the spinning back kick works pretty well for me.
It's good power right there. You know, there's not a lot of heavyweights that throw this. So the more you practice, the better you get. A lot of guys, big guys, are going to go down because they don't see it coming because all their partners are not throwing it.
So I could be the first heavyweight back kicker.
That's right, first heavyweight back kicker.
Nice.
We were starting to round out our arsenal. On the next leg of our journey, we would explore an art that dates back to the samurai, one many claim is the most effective fighting style in all of MMA. And we'll train with a jiu-jitsu legend whose victory against a seemingly unbeatable family dynasty changed MMA forever. In the quest to find the greatest martial artist of them all, MMA attracts fighters from every background. But over the years, one style has arguably proven to be the most effective: jiu-jitsu. A ground fighting system emphasizing submissions, jiu-jitsu fighters have dominated MMA. More than 45% of all professional fights are won by submission, making jiu-jitsu artists some of the most successful of all MMA fighters.
Jiu-jitsu traces its roots to the samurai of 12th century Japan. But as Japan modernized in the 1800s, this ancient fighting style fell out of favor. It found new life abroad when jiu-jitsu expert Mitsuya Maeda migrated to Brazil. There, Maeda passed the secrets of jiu-jitsu along to a fighter named Helio Gracie, who molded Maeda's techniques into his own brand of jiu-jitsu.
And in 1993, Helio's son, Royce Gracie, shocked the martial arts world by using jiu-jitsu to win the first Ultimate Fighting Championship, employing a rear naked choke. Overnight, jiu-jitsu became MMA's dominant ground style, And for nearly a decade, the Gracie family remained undefeated in international competition. In fact, it wasn't until 2003 that an American fighter forced a Gracie to tap out in a grappling match. The defeated fighter hoists his brother, Hoyler. The victor, my friend and mentor, Eddie Bravo.
Go, watch the takedown.
You'll get a kick out of this guy, he's funny.
Watch it, Stroll. Nice. Recover guard, recover. Put him back in your guard. Oh, nice.
Eddie Bravo.
Yo.
What's up, man?
What's up, Jason? How you doing? You guys want to train? You ever done jiu-jitsu before?
No.
You're at Legends, gotta do jiu-jitsu.
Eddie operates out of Legends Gym in Hollywood, training nearly a dozen professional fighters, including myself.
All right, guys, break it up. I need some space. So you ready to do this?
Yeah, you know, they're really rolling around and going out of here, and I mean, it's obviously jiu-jitsu, but what does that have to do with MMA?
Yeah, mixed martial arts is a triathlon. You gotta have your striking, you gotta have your wrestling, and you gotta have your ground fighting. The wrestling takes you to the ground or prevents you from getting taken to the ground, and then the jiu-jitsu prepares you for when the fight ends up on the ground. Very important, crucial.
Eddie's brand of jiu-jitsu is a science based on principles of leverage, momentum, and flexibility. Eddie starts by showing us jiu-jitsu's principal defensive position. It's called the guard.
The first and most important thing in playing guard in MMA is not having the space here. This space is bad. He could punch me here.
All moves from the guard use your legs to control your opponent. Normally, having a 200-pound fighter laying on top of you doesn't sound like a good idea. But for jiu-jitsu guys like Eddie, this is exactly where you want to be.
You must break down your opponent. The guard that I developed looks like this.
From guard, Eddie demonstrates a nasty submission move, the triangle choke.
This move is believed to have been invented in Japan, circa 1150 AD, by the samurai of the Kamakura shogunate. Despite its age, it's still a move that's effective in modern MMA.
And it's a move Rico's sure to try in our fight. It's something I definitely need to learn. You initiate the triangle by encircling your opponent's head with your right leg and crossing your left leg over the ankle, trapping your opponent's head and arm into a locked position. Finally, the fighter locks his hands behind his opponent's head and pulls.
Right for a triangle.
The move gets its power from the pressure exerted by your legs. The first leg imparts pressure to the carotid artery. The second leg, working in conjunction with your arms, optimizes that pressure, transforming you into a human vice grip. If your opponent doesn't tap out, he'll pass out. Much longer and permanent brain damage can ensue.
I tell you, that is absolutely no fun. It cuts off your carotid arteries, all the blood flow to your head slowly dissipates.
As a brown belt in jiu-jitsu, I can tell you that administering a triangle choke is a lot more fun than receiving one.
You're hugging your knee, beautiful, everything's squeezing, perfect.
It's not as easy as it looks. Flexibility with big legs like this is not an easy thing for me.
With Rico's jiu-jitsu skills, I'm sure I'll wind up on the mat at some point. And landing a triangle is a tall order. I need a move that will work for me. So Eddie showed me another devastating submission, the armbar. Like the triangle, the armbar was first mastered by the samurai and incorporated into modern judo in the late 19th century. I saw a similar move in our training at the Kyoto Police Department, so I know how this one works. Operating from guard, the fighter uses his legs for leverage and control. But instead of using the leg lock as a fulcrum for choking out the opponent, his inside arm is leveraged against his upper leg or hip. Grabbing the trapped arm, you then flip your leg over your opponent's face. And hyperextend his arm.
The armbar is a combination of two levers. While your legs push up on your opponent's neck, your arms apply downward pressure to his trapped wrist. The opposing forces turn the elbow into an ad hoc fulcrum point. The armbar can result in a complete destruction of the elbow's articulating structures.
That move can not only end a fight, but it could also end your career. That's why they call it snap and tap, because if you don't tap, your arm's gone.
The physics of this move worked better for me than the triangle choke.
Sit up.
So I want my foot in his back right here?
Instead of using both your arms to keep his posture broken, now you're using your leg and your arm so that you have a free arm here to stop the punches. So now the leg comes over his face. There you go. And now thrust your hips up slightly, slowly.
At the end of this move, the fulcrum point is actually right in the middle of his elbow, which will hyperextend his elbow. And if I really popped my hips, you'd see bone and sinew and all sorts of disgusting matter pop out the other side.
For me, this is a refresher course. But there's always room for improvement. An MMA fight's not just two dumb jocks beating each other up in a cage. It's a chess match. And knowing how to seamlessly flow from one submission move to another is like being able to make two moves at once on the chessboard.
I, for one, love triangle chokes. And I like the fact that if you miss a triangle choke, the armbar's right there. And if you miss an armbar, you can go back to a triangle choke.
With our fights fast approaching, our next destination would be Sin City. And a once-in-a-lifetime chance to train with the most famous mixed martial artist in the world.
Good, now you're gonna step back. 3, 2.
Las Vegas, a gambler's paradise, and home to some of MMA's most famous fights and fighters. It's also home to Extreme Couture, base camp for the most recognizable face in mixed martial arts, UFC heavyweight champ Randy Couture.
Hey, Randy. Working hard, man. Definitely wouldn't want to be on the receiving end of that.
With a background in military combat, collegiate and Olympic wrestling, and an arsenal that includes kicks, punches, takedowns, and submissions, Randy is the quintessential all-around fighter. He's the only man to wear the UFC belt on 5 occasions and at 2 different weight classes. At age 44, Randy's the oldest title holder in MMA history.
You're obviously the champ, so we'd love to learn some of your stuff. Can you take us through a little bit of your training here?
Absolutely. We'll go out on the big mat and we'll do some drills, put you through some of the stuff I'm working on and see what you think.
Great. Thanks, Randy.
Before he could improve our skills, Randy had to assess them. So he tossed me into the octagon against MMA pro Jay Huron. It wasn't pretty, but it definitely helped reacquaint me with the cage and show me how much room I had for improvement.
Having guys to push you, and I say push because that's the biggest thing for me is right now, my conditioning is subpar. But having Randy work with you, Jay Huron, these guys are tough.
Pretty good transitions back and forth, both use defense, single legs, nice sweeps, good work.
I need oxygen.
This was my first time in the octagon, against seasoned pro Mike Pyle, no less. I've got to admit, I was pretty nervous, but as soon as he landed the first takedown, my fighter's instincts kicked in.
Good job, Bill.
Savate, jiu-jitsu, Muay Thai, wrestling, Mike had a bit of everything in his arsenal.
Okay, good. Good job. You show a lot more wrestling ability than I believed you had. You did a good job of scrambling, you pulled guard, you used your feet. I think overall you're going to be fine in this fight. Obviously.
Hearing the champ say that meant a lot. But there was still a lot of work to do. Next came a series of drills designed to test our footwork.
Yeah, here we go. Short choppy steps. Move towards me, you're going to throw 1, 2,
and
3,
our hand-eye coordination. Some exercises were derived from traditional boxing workouts.
3, 2. There's usually
some descended from kickboxing arts like Pradal Saray.
Drive it up into him. Good.
That was the stomach.
Did I catch you in the
Not
stomach?
the bag.
I could barely tell the difference.
It's usually the guy holding the pad's fault, right?
That's right. It's always the guy holding the pad's fault.
Other techniques were designed specifically for use in the octagon.
I'm using the spring.
You're using the spring, so after you drive here...
Using the recoil to the energy coming back to hoist him up.
Who'd have thought that ring spring could be a useful tool in a fight?
So just shoot a double, use that bounce?
Shoot a double, use that bounce. Exactly.
Good job, Jason.
But no technique was as useful as the double underhooks Randy showed us next. The move is taken from Greco-Roman wrestling, a style that, despite its name, was born in 19th century France and prohibits attacks below the waist. This forces a fighter to work the upper body for leverage and control.
What I need to do is kind of load him on my hips.
Double underhooks are a simple, effective way to obtain that type of leverage without sacrificing your own defense. Working from a boxing-style clinch, you simply swing your arms up and under your opponents.
I've loaded him. See his center, and he's a big, heavy guy. I'm raising his center of gravity up just an inch. Got you in the chin. Sorry.
That's okay. Most of my teeth are cracked anyway.
The champ's takedown definitely rattled my grill. But this is the kind of training you live for. And good double underhooks can set a fighter up for a fierce takedown.
Pull, pull, twist. Good, Jason. Good. See how he's changing his feet, Bill?
For me, proper technique is a constant battle. So Randy stepped in and gave me some personal instruction.
That's what you're looking for. Drill's designed to develop some sensitivity in your body. I'm not so worried about my underhook, but I don't want anybody to have an underhook on me. So the second I feel that arm coming in, I should be repummeling. Develop that sensitivity so that every time I fight my way into the clinch, if I feel him starting to get an underhook, I'm taking that point of control, that underhook away from him.
With each hour at Extreme Couture, we could feel our confidence growing and our skills improving. But as we headed back to Cali, it was clear our biggest challenge was yet to come.
This could get out of control.
Time to put up or shut up.
You're the aggressor.
Time to step into the octagon. Fusing dozens of ancient martial arts, MMA has drawn on fighting's rich global history to create the most highly evolved combat sport in the world. Though it's been cleaned up in the last few years since UFC 1 in 1993, professional MMA has seen thousands of broken bones, concussions, and even ruptured organs.
Not the kind of stats you want to hear before stepping into the octagon for your first fight. When we arrived at John McCarthy's gym, both our opponents were already warming up. And Boss was there to greet us.
This is obviously Rico Rodriguez, Bill. This is the guy you're going to be fighting.
Yep.
Big guy.
Hey, Rico.
Yeah.
Over here, bud. This is,
What's up, Rico?
Jason.
Bill?
Rico.
How you guys doing?
Good.
Hey, man, I look forward to seeing you in the cage, and we'll go have fun.
All right, sounds good.
Jason?
Always a pleasure, Rico.
Pasito? Ooh, boys, I can't wait. See you guys in there. Ooh, how you doing?
He's excited.
I don't know if that's a good
Always be
thing.
worried about the guys that are excited.
Now I was nervous. I was about to step into the octagon with a guy who's defeated everyone from Travis Fulton to Randy Couture. Luckily, I had some time before my fight. Jason was first on the chopping block.
Even though I've had more than 20 MMA fights, I've got to admit I was nervous. Connor Hune's as good at wrestling as I am at jiu-jitsu.
Loosening up, getting rid of some of the last-minute jitters. I hate wrestlers. They're no fun.
This is your time to shine. It's the time for the human weapon to get a victory.
Connor had other ideas.
I think Hollywood's gone to his head. I'm going to teach this pretty boy a lesson.
This fight was going to be an all-out ground war. One I wasn't sure I wanted any part of.
Okay, Connor is here. Hey, Jason!
Good luck.
Thank you. Come out, wherever you are!
Come on, Jason. It's your arena, man. It's your arena.
Our fight is scheduled for 3 3-minute rounds. There are 3 ways to win: knockout, submission, or judge's decision. Since this isn't a sanctioned fight, Big John McCarthy would play the role of both judge and referee. My strategy for the fight was simple. Don't be afraid to go to the ground, but use my jiu-jitsu to make sure I get there on my terms.
Get into attack mode. You're the aggressor. You're the aggressor. You're the aggressor. Let's go. Let's get it on.
Seconds into the fight, Connor shot a pancration-style double-leg takedown on me. But I employed the catch wrestling sprawl Forrest taught us to perfection. Still, Connor managed to take me to the mat. I used my jiu-jitsu to work out of it and tried to lock in a rear naked choke.
Good job, Jay. Good job. Good job.
Connor broke free.
Hands up. Hands up.
And after a little toe-to-toe boxing,
Please proceed to get taken down.
he clocked me with a whirling Muay Thai strike that took us both to the ground. But I wound up in control of the fight.
Ground and pound, very nice, control, good. Go for it rear naked, doing good. Oh!
Again, Connor scrambled to his feet, and we boxed our way to the end of the round.
Hands up.
Stop it right there.
You look great, man.
You're doing real good. Good sprawl. Everything's really good.
Yeah, that's what we talked about.
Yeah.
Man, he gets in deep. He pushes the pace a lot. I gotta respect his shots, because he gets underneath me. It's gonna be a long day for me.
All right, you ready? You ready? Let's get it on. Come on.
The second round picked up where round 1 left off. Connor shot, but I sprawled again and managed to land a takedown.
Watch out. Nice. Underhook.
I tried to work off Connor's back, but he defended.
Got his back. Hooks. Hooks.
So I tried a jiu-jitsu submission called a twister.
Banana split. Split him. Split him. Split him. Split him.
Grab the other leg.
Split it. Split it.
I slid my left arm underneath Connor's neck and used my right to cinch it up. The pain from the twister was too much. Connor tapped out. After 8 fights in 8 countries, Human Weapon had its first outright victory.
You got him with that twister, huh? That is not an easy move to pull off.
I figured if I missed, I was gonna be on my back and just play guard. Let me try this, and I caught it.
But the real test of how I fared would come from Boss.
What'd you think, Boss?
I think you did really good.
Yeah.
You did everything. Striking, takedowns, takedown defense, and submissions.
Looks great.
Appreciate it,
Very
boss.
good, man. Very good.
Batter up, Bill.
Batter up.
Whoop, whoop, whoop. You up.
Jason's victory was great, but it made me that much more nervous. I was about to step into the octagon with a former UFC champ. Unlike Jason, my strategy was to avoid going to the ground.
Definitely defending the takedown, but he's going to shoot, and he's got a good shot. So he probably will take you down, and once he's down, you want to keep the guard. Don't open up.
Besides stopping the takedown, on the offensive side of it, what should I go for with Rico?
But Rico, I should on your feet, striking.
Striking has never been my strong suit.
He's got some good training partner.
But working out with Kung, coupled with my karate and Muay Thai training, had definitely improved my kicking game. But Rico's game is jiu-jitsu. And even with Eddie's help, my jiu-jitsu left a lot to be desired. So I had to stay on my feet if I wanted a chance. I entered the ring before Rico. Standard fight procedure. Once a champ, always a champ.
On paper, Bill's got no chance in this fight, but MMA fights aren't fought on paper. And I think it's been a while since Rico has rolled with a guy Bill's size.
You ready? A little nervous, actually. You'll be all right, man. It's free. A lot of pressure.
Let's get it on, come on.
This could get out of control.
Yeah.
Work some jabs, Bob.
My strategy was to work kick strikes and keep my
Bill,
distance.
You gotta get off first. There you go, Bill. You gotta get off first, Bill. Where's your jab, Bill? There you go, Bill.
The champ had a different plan.
Come on, Bill, stay busy. Get in there.
Underhook, underhook.
Punch, 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 punch.
I avoided the takedown and pummeled with Rico until I established double underhooks.
Stay busy.
The same Greco-Roman technique Randy had shown us. Getting double underhooks is one thing.
Good, now turn it, return it. Use them. Use your underhooks, Bill. Use your underhooks.
Using them against a heavyweight champ is another.
Bill, stay on him.
So instead, I tried one of Kung's kick strikes. Rico stuffed it and followed it with a low roundhouse that stung like it had been thrown by a Kung Fu champ.
Why are you stopping right there? Get back, get it back. Throw it right.
Nice. Do good. Defending the takedown, really good. You just fly a little bit more with combination. Make a 1-2 and then a kick. Like 1-2, a left low kick inside and another right straight. 1-2, low kick straight.
When you're punching and backing him up, get him against the cage and use the cage. You're getting in there good and he respects your hands. So use that, okay?
Just explosive, powerful. I'm very impressed with the skills.
You ready? You ready? Let's get it on, come on.
Seconds into round 2, Rico took me to the mat. I scrambled for position.
Yeah, this is gonna get dirty, and I think. There you go, Bill. Now use that.
And managed to work Rico against the cage. He retaliated with a couple of Muay Thai strikes to the midsection before we worked back to the middle of the octagon. Near the end of the round, I found myself on the mat. Luckily, I was saved by the bell.
Kick, Bill, kick. Kick, Bill. I said kick.
Stop it right there.
How you feeling?
Yeah, you did good, man. Your stamina is good. Very good.
I don't ever take an opponent lightly, and I'm just very impressed.
Last one. Let's get it on. Come on.
Stay busy. Let's see a takedown. Let's go. Stay busy. Stay busy.
Rico started round 3 by drilling me with a knee strike to the solar plexus. I countered with some knee strikes of my own. But Rico caught me in a move called a guillotine.
Stay busy. If you break, punches while he's against the back.
I thought it was going to be lights out, but I slipped free.
Nope, keep
Stay on him. Now stay on him. Pass the guard, Bill. Pass the guard.
And worked in a guillotine of my own.
Bill, guillotine, guillotine, guillotine.
Rico escaped
Pull him down. Punch, punch, punch.
and drove me to the mat, where I weathered an onslaught of punches.
Go, go, go.
We ended the fight back on our feet, too tired to either sprawl or brawl. I had just survived 3 rounds with Rico Rodriguez. With no knockout and no tap outs, the decision could go either way.
Hey, outstanding job, man. Great job. That was a great job. Good job, Rico.
Thanks, man.
Big John ruled the fight a draw. Not bad against a former UFC champ.
You moved very well. Your hips, everything was phenomenal. And if you ever really want to do this for a living, I think you have a good shot at it.
High praise from the champ. Although I gotta admit, it would have been nice for Human Weapon to go 2 for 2 in the octagon.
Our journey through the world of MMA had given us a new level of respect for the guts, discipline, and versatility these awesome warriors possess. And we learned how centuries-old fighting forms had been fused together to create the world's most popular and most violent fighting style, MMA.